Hello, dear listeners, and welcome back to another episode of our podcast, where we dive deep into the transformative power books. I'm your host, Susan, and joining me today is Larry Donowan, a renowned motivation coach. Larry, it's great to have you back on the show.
Always a pleasure, Susan. And hello to all our listeners out there. Today's book is a truly special one, isn't it?
Absolutely, Larry. Today we'll be discussing The Power of Now, a guide to spiritual enlightenments by Eckhart Tolle, a book that has garnered worldwide recognition for its profound and transformative message. Eckhart Tolle introduces readers to the concept of living fully in the present moment, teaching how to free oneself from the tyranny of thoughts and attain a state of pure presence.
Yes, Susan. The Power of Now is one of those rare books that comes along and has the power to change the way you perceive life fundamentally. It's about transcending our egoic mind by stepping into the present moment, a state that Tolle refers to as being, and he does so in a way that's so practical and accessible.
Larry, how do you think Tolle manages to navigate through these complex, often abstract concepts, like time and consciousness, and present them in a manner that's so relatable and digestible to readers?
That's a wonderful question, Susan. Tolle has a unique ability to communicate these profound truths in a simple, clear manner. His language isn't bogged down by complex terminologies or abstract philosophical concepts. Instead, he uses straightforward and relatable language, which enables readers from all walks of life to grasp these profound concepts. His use of qua format throughout the book is also quite engaging and addresses the doubts and questions that might arise in a reader's mind as they navigate through the concepts introduced.
Yes, indeed. Tolle shares his own journey of transformation and enlightenment, which adds an authentic, personal touch to the book, making it even more compelling. It's not just theoretical knowledge. It's wisdom derived from personal experience, which I believe gives more weight to his words.
Absolutely, Susan. That authenticity radiates through every page, and it helps the reader to connect with Tolle's teachings on a deeper level. His insights into the workings of the mind and how we can detach from it to experience the present moment fully are not just thought-provoking, but are also liberating in a sense. This detachment from the mind, from incessant thinking, which he proposes, offers a pathway to inner peace and serenity, irrespective of the external circumstances.
Larry, you brought up a critical point about inner peace, which is often elusive in today's fast-paced world. And perhaps that's what makes The Power of Now stand out. It offers readers a refuge, a space to breathe and be, away from the constant chatter of the mind.
It's a sanctuary of sorts, isn't it? And Tolle emphasizes that this space, this now, is always available to us, regardless of where we are or what we are going through. It's a timeless wisdom that has the potential to bring about a profound internal shift, altering how we perceive and interact with the world around us. It's all about stepping out of the psychological time, of past and future, and stepping into the spiritual dimension of the present moment.
Larry, I'm eager to delve even deeper into these concepts and explore how our listeners can practically apply these principles in their day-to-day lives. Listeners, we hope you'll join us on this enlightening journey as we navigate through the power of the present moment with the wisdom shared by Eckhart Tolle. How can our listeners embody the principles of the power of now in their daily lives?
Fantastic point to delve into, Susan. Tolle presents several practical approaches throughout the book, but I believe it all boils down to awareness, becoming intensely conscious of the present moment. It's not about rejecting thoughts or trying to escape from them, but rather observing them without judgment or identification.
That observing stance, being a witness to your own thoughts without being entangled in them. It sounds straightforward, but it can be quite challenging, especially for someone new to these concepts.
So true, Susan. That's where the practice of mindfulness comes into play. Mindfulness is essentially about being fully engaged with the here and now. It's not about trying to change or judge the moment, but simply being aware of it. A practical tip for our listeners might be to start with mindful activities that they can integrate into their daily routine, such as mindful walking or mindful eating.
I love that. Making mindfulness a part of daily activities. And Tolle also talks about the I pain, bodies, a term he uses to describe the accumulation of old emotional pain. Larry, how does Tolle suggest we navigate through this pain, body, and not get entangled in it?
Susan, the pain body is indeed one of the crucial concepts in the power of now. Tolle emphasizes that recognizing the pain body when it gets activated is key. It's about noticing when old emotional pain is influencing your thoughts, behaviors, and reactions. Tolle encourages us to observe it without identifying with it, much like treating it as a separate entity. And through that observation, without feeding it with more thought or emotional energy, it begins to lose its power over us.
The power of detached observation. It seems to be a recurrent theme in the book. Tolle also talks about the liberation that comes from stepping out of the stream of constant thinking and simply being present, doesn't he?
He does, Susan. It's like finding an anchor in the present moment amidst the turbulent sea of thoughts. This presence is incredibly liberating. You find that your actions arise from a place of calmness and clarity rather than being reactionary, driven by past conditioning or future anxiety.
Such profound wisdom, Larry. Listeners, as we reflect on these insights, I invite you to contemplate how you might bring a piece of this awareness into your own lives. How can you gently remind yourself to return to the present moment, especially when the waves of life become a bit turbulent?
And perhaps that's the beauty of The Power of Now, isn't it, Susan? It's not just a book, but a gentle reminder, a nudge to come back to the present moment, to find peace amidst the chaos. And this peace is always accessible, right here and right now.
Beautifully put, Larry. As we begin to close our exploration of Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, we're left reflecting on the rich tapestry of insights about consciousness, presence, and spiritual awakening. Larry, as we reflect, I can't help but think about the transformation that can happen when we genuinely embed these teachings into our lives.
Absolutely, Susan. It's a transformation that's subtle yet profound. It doesn't demand us to change who we are, but invites us to become who we've always been beneath the clutter of thoughts, beneath the layers of past and future concerns. Tolle isn't just providing a guide to spiritual enlightenment, but inviting us to rediscover and reconnect with our true selves.
That reconnection with our essence brings an unparalleled peace and tranquility, doesn't it? This book truly is a gateway for individuals to explore and understand their inner worlds, their pain, and most importantly, their inherent ability to transcend challenges and find peace in any given moment.
It does, Susan. And what's wonderful is that The Power of Now doesn't ask for belief. It invites exploration. It asks for observation, and through that, it provides a path toward finding our own truths. This timeless wisdom shared by Tolle doesn't give us answers, but rather aids us in asking the right questions. Who am I beyond my thoughts? What exists in the space between thoughts?
And as we pose these questions to ourselves, we embark on a journey within, exploring the depth of our being and discovering that the answers we seek are often already within us, waiting to be uncovered in the silence and presence of the now.
In this peaceful presence of the now, Susan, lies the essence of the book. It's about freeing oneself from the tyranny of the mind and emerging into the light of consciousness, experiencing life fully in each moment. The pathways that Tolle provides to our listeners, to humanity, are not just pathways to spiritual awakening, but to a life filled with depth, meaning, and true joy.
Such profound insights, Larry. Listeners, we hope this discussion on the power of no has sparked an inward journey for you, an exploration into the beauty and serenity that lies in each present moment. It has been a thought-provoking and insightful discussion, and we're grateful to have shared this space with you, exploring the depths of such a transformative book.
Thank you, Susan, and thanks to our listeners for being with us through this exploration. Remember, the power is always in the now. May you all find your path to it and revel in the peace it brings.
Beautifully said, Larry. Till our next episode, dear listeners, take a mindful pause, breathe in the present, and may you find the power in your own now.